Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn a very interesting chapter called Human Resources. In this chapter, we will understand something very important. Why people are not just part of nature, but the most powerful resource on Earth. We will learn how population is distributed, why some places are crowded, why some places are empty, and how population changes over time. Let's begin. Before we start, let's do a quick brain activity. Imagine 30 students in a classroom. It feels crowded, right? Now imagine the same 30 students sitting in a big assembly hall. Suddenly it looks empty. So the students did not change, but the space changed. This tells us something very important. Crowding depends on the area available. This is exactly how geographers think when they study population. And this leads us to a key concept: population density. Now let's understand why people are called the greatest resource. Nature gives us land, water, forests, minerals, and sunlight. But these things become useful only when humans understand them and use them wisely. For example, coal is just a black rock, but people turned it into fuel. Water is natural, but people created dams and canals. So, people with knowledge and skills convert natural things into valuable resources. That is why we say, human resource is the ultimate resource. Now, an important question. Are people equally distributed everywhere? No, human resources are not equally spread across the world. Some countries have a very high population, and some have a very low population. Also, people differ in many ways such as education levels, age groups, and male-female ratio. And the population is not fixed. It keeps changing with time due to births, deaths, and migration. Let's learn a new term now: population distribution. Population distribution means how people are spread on the Earth's surface. A shocking fact is, more than 90% of the world's population lives in only about 30% of the land. That means people are not spread evenly. Some places are crowded, and some places have very few people. Now let's see which regions are crowded and which are empty. Some parts of the world are densely populated. These include South and Southeast Asia, Europe, and Northeastern North America. But some regions are sparsely populated, meaning very few people live there. These include high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains, and equatorial forests. So population distribution depends on how suitable the region is for human life. Now let's understand 3 smart facts about world population. First, more people live north of the equator than south. Second, almost 3/4 of the world's people live in only 2 continents, Asia and Africa. Third, 60% of the world's population lives in just 10 countries. And each of these countries has more than 100 million people. So, population is highly concentrated in certain parts of the world. Now let's understand 3 smart facts about world population. First, more people live north of the equator than south. Second, almost 3/4 of the world's people live in only 2 continents, Asia and Africa. Third, 60% of the world's population lives in just 10 countries. And each of these countries has more than 100 million people. So, population is highly concentrated in certain parts of the world. Now the big question. Why do people not live everywhere equally? Population is uneven because different places have different living conditions. These reasons can be divided into 2 main groups. 1. Geographical factors. 2. Social, cultural, and economic factors. Now let's understand them one by one. First, let's explore geographical factors. Geographical factors are connected to nature. A topography. People prefer plains because plains are good for farming, industries, and transport. Mountains are difficult. A climate. People avoid extreme hot or cold regions like deserts and polar areas. A soil. Fertile soil supports agriculture, so it attracts people. A water. Fresh water is necessary, so river valleys are densely populated. A minerals. Areas with minerals and oil attract people because they provide jobs. So nature strongly controls where humans settle. Now let's look at human-made reasons. Social and economic factors also influence population distribution. A social places with good housing, education, and hospitals attract people. A cultural. Religious and cultural centers attract people, such as Varanasi, Jerusalem, and Vatican City. Economic. Industrial areas provide jobs, so people move there. Examples include Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India. So people move to places where they can live better and earn better. Now we will study how population changes over time. Population change means change in number of people during a specific time period. The world population has not remained stable. It has increased rapidly. The main reasons for population change are births, deaths, and migration. Now let's understand why population increased so fast after the 1800s. Before the 1800s, population grew slowly. Why? Because even though many babies were born, many died early due to poor health facilities, shortage of food, and low farm production. But later, with better food supply and medicines, death rates reduced. However, birth rates still remained high. So the population started increasing rapidly. Now let's look at important population milestones. In 1804, the world population reached 1 billion. In 1959, it reached 3 billion. And in 1999, it reached 6 billion. The most shocking part is, the population doubled from 3 billion to 6 billion in just 40 years. This rapid rise is called population explosion. Now we need to understand the basic measurements used in population studies. Birth rate means number of live births per 1,000 people. Death rate means number of deaths per 1,000 people. The difference between birth rate and death rate is called natural growth rate. So if birth rate is high and death rate is low, population increases rapidly. Population does not change only through births and deaths. Migration is another important cause. Migration means movement of people in and out of an area. A people who enter a country are called immigrants. A people who leave a country are called emigrants. Countries like USA and Australia gained population through immigration. Sudan is an example where population reduced due to immigration. Migration changes the size and structure of population. Now let's understand that not all countries grow at the same rate. Population growth rates vary across the world. Some countries like Kenya have high growth because death rates fell but birth rates remained high. But countries like the United Kingdom have low growth because both birth rate and death rate are low. So population growth depends on health facilities, living standards, and lifestyle. Now we come to a very important concept: population composition. Population composition means the structure of a population. People differ in age, sex, literacy, health, occupation, and income. One important idea here is crowding is not always linked to development. For example, Japan and Bangladesh are both densely populated, but Japan is far more economically developed. So population size alone does not decide development. Quality matters. Now let's study one of the most interesting diagrams in geography. A population pyramid is also called an age-sex pyramid. It shows the population is divided into age groups, and the percentage of males and females in each age group. This diagram helps us understand how many people are children, adults, and old people. It also helps us understand dependents and working population. Now let's decode what the pyramid shapes tell us about a country. The shape of a pyramid tells the story of that country. Kenya, broad base and narrow top. This shows high birth rate and high death rate. Many children but fewer old people. India, broad and younger groups. This shows deaths are decreasing and many young people survive. So India has a large youth population and a strong labor force. Japan, narrow base. This shows low birth rate. More people live to old age, so it has more aged population. So population pyramids help governments plan schools, jobs, hospitals, and pensions. Before we end, let's check what you understood today. Please answer these 3 questions in the comment box. 1. Define population distribution. 2. What is population density? 3. Name any 2 factors affecting population distribution. These questions will help you revise the most important concepts from today's lesson. That's it for now. Thank you.